All right, for this one, we're going to do something a little different. We're diving into this piece of creative writing that's just pure heart and imagination. It's a wonderful story by Phil Moreland called The Octopus and the Gateway, and we're going to walk through it together.
And how this story came to be is just as genuine as the tale itself. Phil Moreland says he just couldn't sleep one night, so he decided to write this. It's such a great reminder, right, that creativity can strike anytime, anywhere. So yeah, let's see where this sleepless night actually took him.
Okay, so let's journey through this story just as Phil wrote it. We'll get to know the characters, see the challenge they face, and check out the pretty magical solution that pops up on what seems like a totally ordinary day.
So where does our story begin? Well, it's a place you'd probably least expect to find an adventure, just a simple bus stop in Colwyn Bay. But as we're about to find out, the extraordinary can really show up anywhere. And this is where things get interesting. We're about to meet our main character, and this is where the story takes its first, let's say, delightful and very unusual turn.
Yep, you read that right. Phil describes seeing an octopus, tentacles and all, just waiting for the bus, like any other commuter. I mean, what a fantastic image to kick things off with, right? So who's on the scene here? What's really cool is the cast of characters that kind of assembles. You've got the octopus, obviously, but then there are two support staff members, Chris and Debbie, and of course our storyteller, Phil, who's watching this whole thing unfold. First up, we have Chris. The story gives him this absolutely perfect nickname, Captain Smiley. And I mean, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about him, doesn't it? And then we've got Debbie, who's called Debbie Duck, and the story gives a reason for this, because she was Quakers. It's just one of those charming little details that really brings this whole scene to life. Okay, and this is where it gets kind of magical. Call it fate, call it a perfect coincidence, whatever you want. But Chris and Debbie had just been trained on, get this, how to talk to an octopus. Seriously, they were like the most uniquely prepared people on the planet for this exact moment. So that brings us to the central problem here. You've got an octopus at a bus stop. What on earth happens next? I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? What do you do if you see an octopus on the street? It's not like there's a manual for that, right? But luckily for our octopus, this team was ready to figure it out. And remember that training? Well, thanks to that, the answer was actually immediate and super clear. The staff knew exactly what was up. The octopus needed water. Simple as that. And Phil, our storyteller, he chimes in too with this really compassionate thought. He just looks at it and thinks, bless it, looks parched. So you can see everyone's on the same page here. This creature has got to get back to the sea. Okay, so this brings us to a really important idea in the story, the gateway. It's such a beautiful term here because it has a double meaning. On one hand, it's the actual physical path to the beach. But for the octopus, it's something more. It's the magical way back home. All right, so the problem's been identified, the solution is clear, it's time for Team Shaftesbury to the rescue. This is a real team effort, everyone coming together to help out. And just try to imagine how the octopus is feeling right now. It's gotta be so excited, right? Realizing that help is here and it can finally go home. But at the same time, it's probably pretty nervous. The story just captures that mix of emotions perfectly. And how do we know it's nervous? Well, this part is brilliant. It gets so overwhelmed that it lets out a big bit of black ink. It's, a classic octopus move, but here it's just this moment of pure, totally relatable anxiety. Then, the octopus itself confirms everything. It actually tells them, this is my gateway home to Octopus Land. So now we know it's not just a beach, it's the personal, vital gateway home. And with home in sight, the octopus is so grateful. The story gives a big shout out to Team Shaftesbury. That's the amazing support staff who made this whole rescue happen. Credit where credit is due. So now we get to the resolution, the really heartwarming end to this totally unexpected journey. And it is truly the happiest of endings. The rescue was a total success. The octopus gets through the gateway and is back with its family in the ocean. Just awesome. But the goodbye is just as unique and charming as the rest of the story. Debbie Duck, she quacks. Chris, Captain Smiley, he gives his big smile. And the octopus, in this final amazing gesture, it actually shakes their hands with its tentacles. And just when you think it can't get any better,
What does the octopus do next? Well, according to the story, he went to see SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, come on. It's the perfect whimsical ending that just keeps that magical spirit going right to the very end.
You know, this beautiful little story really leaves you with something to think about. It's all about paying attention, about using whatever unique skills you have to help out, and just recognizing when someone needs a gateway back to where they belong. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our own lives, what gateways can we open for other people?